Good evening. This is the Vsb TV 11 News for Tuesday, April 1st. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story. The Media Council of Bermuda has ruled that the Royal Gazette's reporting of how the Bermuda Cricket Board selected the national cricket team for the 2013 ICC World Cup 2020 qualifiers was in part misleading and inaccurate, specifically in its references to communication with and responses by the BCB, and is therefore in breach of Clause 3 of the Media Council's Code of Practice. However, in the view of the Council, the BCB could have been more responsive and less circumspect in its responses. In the circumstances, the Council does not consider that any remedy is warranted and will not insist on publication of its ruling by the Gazette. The Council concludes by saying it believes the Bermuda community would be better served if these two organizations were able to find a way to overcome their animosity and improve their professional working relationship. The Bank of Bermuda Foundation has lived up to its 9-year-old promise to donate $10 million to the fundraising campaign for the new acute care wing of the King Edward Hospital. In what is the largest philanthropic contribution ever made by a local entity in Bermuda's history, the foundation has brought the total raised so far to $30 million, just $10 million short of the $40 million fundraising goal of the Bermuda Hospital's Charitable Trust. Trust Chairman Philip Butterfield said that the island would be forever changed by the remarkable gift and that philanthropy had the ability to change lives for the better. Foundation Chairman David Hampshire expressed the hope that the donation would inspire Bermuda residents to make their contribution, no matter how small. A 28-year-old man denied murder charges that stem from 2006 in today's monthly arraignment session in Supreme Court. Other cases involving alleged grievous bodily harm were also heard this morning. Vsb's Julia Smet has more.
Prince Barrington Edness of Pembroke Parish pleaded not guilty to the premeditated murder of Jason Lightbourne in July of 2006. Mr. Edness was remanded in custody and will reappear for trial on September 8th. In a separate matter, 41-year-old Maxwell Smith also appeared at the monthly arraignment session and pleaded not guilty to causing grievous bodily harm to Deborah Arujo on November 23rd of last year. He was further charged with uttering threatening words to Ms. Arujo on the same day. It is alleged that he stated, "I'm going to kill you." Smith was granted bail and will return to court on May 5th. Meantime, another case involving grievous bodily harm was also heard. Timothy Skraders pleaded not guilty to causing grievous bodily harm to Christian Hillen and Matthew Correa by driving a motor vehicle dangerously on a road on July 21st. Skraders was also charged with failing to stop after an accident on the same day. He also pled not guilty to that charge. Another man, John Wardman, was also brought before the courts for charges dating back to 2010. The 29-year-old man pleaded not guilty to failing to provide what was termed the necessaries of life and not calling an ambulance for Alexander Doyle in December of 2010. He further pleaded not guilty to causing grievous bodily harm to Mr. Doyle by driving a motor vehicle on a road when the proportion of alcohol in his blood was in excess of 80 milligrams. Wardman's bail was extended and he will return to court for trial on June 30th. I'm Julia Smat reporting for Vsb News.
Bermuda's Commissioner of Education, Edmund Heatley, has decided he does not want to be Orleans Parish School Superintendent after all. School Board President Nolan Marshall said today he received word of the decision on Monday. On the same day, another finalist dropped out, leaving 2 remaining finalists out of a field of 44. Marshall said he had not been given Heatley's reasons for withdrawing, but the Commissioner has been coming under fire here in Bermuda for seeking new employment only 7 months into his job. The board interviewed Mr. Heatley on March the 19th after naming him one of 4 finalists. Yesterday, Shadow Education Minister Walton Brown called for his dismissal after it was reported that he might possibly have applied for a second post elsewhere. Government has been quick to respond to the damaging report of beach contamination in Bermuda issued by U.S. Consul Robert Secchi. A statement from the Ministry of Health and Environment says it wishes to strongly reassure residents and visitors that our beaches are safe for swimming and recreational use. It was only when certain rare weather-related events occurred that there was danger of possible pollution. Vsb News' Chris Lodge has our story.
A statement from the ministry last night said environmental health closely monitors Bermuda's beaches and takes water samples for bathing water quality twice each week at major bathing beaches. Health and Environment Minister Trevor Moniz saying last night studies carried out last spring by the Department of Health along with BIOS speak to a specific contamination events on a limited part of the South Shore that are short in duration, self-resolving, limited in scope, and driven by very specific weather circumstances, strong south-southeasterly winds and waves. In addition, he says, research has demonstrated that once these circumstances change, the water quality completely corrects itself within hours. He says the Department of Health has set up an automatic weather notification system whereby they will receive an advisory when the particular wind and wave conditions that can put certain beaches at risk do come together. The ministry adding, while we understand the U.S. consulate desires to protect its citizens, we have to reiterate that bathing in Bermuda's waters does not pose a health issue. I'm Chris Lodge, Vsb News.
Environmental Awareness Month began today, and in keeping with this important theme, Vsb Radio and TV will be featuring films and interviews throughout the month to help create that awareness. The most ambitious contribution, which has been sponsored by Lindo's, Belco and Auto Solutions, is the screening of 8 of the most impactful environmental films to have been released in recent years, ranging from Planet in Peril to the renowned Inconvenient Truth. Every Wednesday and Friday for the next 4 weeks, you will be able to watch one of these films at 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. on Vsb TV Channel 11. The screenings start tomorrow, Wednesday, when Planet in Peril will be shown in the 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. time slots. And then on Friday, you can watch World in Balance, the Population Paradox. The following week brings Vanishing of the Bees on Wednesday and A Fierce Green Fire on Friday. We will announce the films showing in the 3rd and 4th weeks on radio and TV on Monday, April the 14th. Local experts on a wide range of environmental issues, from the lionfish epidemic to the effect of climate change on Bermuda, will appear on Mix 106 throughout the month and during Vsb TV Channel 11 News. Still ahead is Rachel with the weather preview.
Thanks, Peter. Cool and breezy. On the radar, still a couple of showers sort of in the area, but it looks like they're going to miss us as we have no rain in the forecast for tonight, but please stay tuned for the full weather report later.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb TV 11.
In order to stay diabetes-free, it is highly recommended that we walk 10,000 steps per day. One way to get those steps is to walk on our beautiful beaches or around one of the island's parks. Doing this daily will help protect you from diabetes. So pick up a pedometer and start living a healthy life with daily exercise. Because truth is, anyone can get diabetes, and every 10 seconds somebody dies from diabetes-related causes.
April is Environmental Awareness Month, and Vsb TV 11 is airing relevant documentaries exploring environmental issues concerning all of us on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. for the month of April. Sponsored by Auto Solutions, Roll With Us, Belco, The Power to Save, and Lindo's, Why Go Anyplace Else? Environmental Awareness Month on Vsb TV 11.
Bermuda is an easy way to find great discounts while discovering fun activities to do in Bermuda.
Discover the best spas, restaurants, activities, services, and shops at 50% off.
Sign up to Bermuda and start saving today.
Master carpenters Alma Hunt and Quinton Burrows will launch this week a Woodworks carpentry training course at their Southside facility in St. David's, designed to interest young Bermudians in the ancient art of carpentry and provide them with a worthwhile career. The course ranges from learning basic skills to gaining accreditation at city and guild standards. But to get the full information, interested persons are asked to attend an information seminar on Thursday next between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m. at the Department of Workforce Development on Parliament Street. Alma Hunt took time out to visit the VSB News studio to explain his vision to Brian Darby.
Tuitions paid for and the road paved by tradespeople, especially carpenters. We were the envy of the world once upon a time, as shipwrights and joiners, and all our major hotels had extensive cedar millwork, etc. And it's just a dying art form and a dying trade, and we want to revive it.
So how do we get into the workshop? How does the man who wants to do this, how does he start?
Okay, we will have an information session on April the 3rd from 9:30 to 10:30 at Workforce Development. So please come out and find out more about it, the types of courses that we're offering. We're offering a full certification program, approximately 2 years, through City and Guilds. And we're also offering one-day courses and two-day courses and an open shop for those who have some skills. And then come to the shop on a particular day and we'll be able to help manage what they're doing. It's not a class per se, but we'll be there for support and use of the equipment.
You have a beautiful workshop in Southside?
Yes, Southside St. David's. We'll give you directions and whatever at the information sessions.
You must have this in your heart, I suppose, looking around and seeing people not having a job to do and knowing that it's in their hands, if only they knew it. They need the spark.
Yep, they do. You have to come, if you have purpose, we have a plan to take you where you want to go as far as carpentry goes. We can't put the spark in you, but hopefully there's young people who want to get into the trade, there's older people who want a career change or who want to tweak what they already have, and there's too much fudging and guessing as far as picking up the trade here and there and so on and so forth. That's all very good for certain little things around the house, but if you want to really be qualified and certified, you should be taught correctly. The foundations and the gateway skills have to be learned and practiced.
Boxers island-wide are coming together to showcase some of Bermuda's best talent at this year's Fight Night 16, which will take place this Saturday. The event will showcase Bermuda's boxers, some of whom will take on international boxers. But what's more is this event will double not only as a first-class boxing showcase, but will also benefit the son of the late DeVray Noel Simmons, who also was a sports enthusiast. Fight Night coordinator Amber Carras spoke with VSB's Julia Smatt about what goes into planning an event of this magnitude.
It's been a ton of work. I mean, from December now, we've been planning. You have to go around recruiting the different boxers, doing the matchups, finding people that have the same experience. So that means bringing in fighters from Canada, and then the promoting of the event, the ticket sales. I mean, there's a million little details, but it's definitely worth it. There's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of young guys and females that are training now. They just don't really have the opportunity to get the exposure and the experience. Oh, this year the Fight Night is really special and dear to my heart, as we are tributing the event to my friend DeVray Noel Simmons, who is also a former teacher's rugby player. He passed away in January and left a lot of us very devastated. So we are honoring him on the night, and also part proceeds will go to a fund that we've set up for his son, an education fund. So that's very cool.
One of the boxers who will be fighting at this year's Fight Night is Callan Burns. Callan has been boxing for about 10 years, off and on, and started when he was 17 years old. He spoke to Julia Smatt about the discipline and perseverance that goes into getting ready for an event like this.
Fitness is a big thing to me. Come back down to the gym, seeing the people that's here kind of pulled me back, and I kind of heard Chucky, so said we'll get back in the ring. But as far as the physical demands, it depends on the individual, but for myself, I'm very competitive, so I come down there and train pretty hard, like 5 days a week. Fitness is a big thing. I mean, technical side of things is nice, but for amateurs, fitness is key, so it's a lot of training, a lot of physical work.
What do you feel about the boxing and its place in Bermuda sport? I know that some people say that not as many people as they would like to see are continuing to get involved in boxing.
I guess boxing as a whole is trying to go through a little revival. That's on a worldwide thing. But in Bermuda, I just think it needs the right people involved as far as like putting it on events. I mean, the more fighters you get, the more people you can draw to events. So I guess the interest comes from the people backing it as well.
What do you hope to take away from fight night itself, your fight in particular?
I'm looking to put on a show, the night performance or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, I just can't wait to see the atmosphere, the adrenaline, people, the rush. But I'm trying to put on a good performance, really.
Fight night will take place this Saturday at the Barclay Institute Gym at 6 p.m. Tickets are $50 and can be purchased at ptix.bm or the Parakeet Restaurant. Part proceeds will go towards the Dante Noel Simmons Education Fund. Now, here's a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
Here are the daily markets presented by Bias. The S&P 500 climbed to a record high. Consumer and technology shares rallied, while treasuries fell after manufacturing data boosted optimism in the economy. U.S. stocks rose as an increase in a manufacturing index boosted optimism that the economy withstood severe winter weather. The S&P 500 gained 0.7% to close at 1,886. 6,800 shares of Bank of Butterfield traded hands today. The stock closed unchanged on the day at $1.98. Other Bermuda-related stocks in the U.S. were mixed, with ACE gaining 0.02% and XL Group down 0.86%. European stocks advanced as a report confirming that Euro area manufacturing expanded last month. The FTSE added 0.8% to close at 6,653. Japan's Nikkei share average fell today, retreating from a 3-week high as utilities tumbled on a report that a major electrical firm will get a capital infusion from a state-owned lender. The benchmark Nikkei dropped 0.24% to 14,792. Latin American indices were mixed on the day, with the Brazil Bovespa slipping 0.29% after closing out March with its biggest monthly gain for the year. The price of U.S. Treasuries fell and yields rose before a report later this week, which is forecasted to show that the U.S. economy added 200,000 jobs in March. The 10-year U.S. Treasury yields rose 4 basis points. The dollar declined on Tuesday versus most of its major trading partners as currency traders looked ahead of key U.S. jobs data due Friday and shrugged off a report showing growth at U.S. factories. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. There's more news after this.
Things change rapidly in acute care medicine, and it's critical that the community has access to the latest technology so that we can continue to improve services to people most in need. Even though we are not a direct part of the team at the King Edward, as a family physician, I believe I still have a responsibility to give towards creating this new acute care wing. It's important for each of us to contribute what we can, and collectively we can make a huge difference.
Call 295-BHCT.
We live in a beautiful environment. One way to help keep it that way is to always remember your reusable grocery bag. If you forgot, you can still do your part in saving our planet by buying a Marketplace green bag for only $1.19. Not only are they good for groceries, but they're handy for many other uses. Always have your bags inside of you or put your grocery list in one so that you don't forget your reusable bags. You and the Marketplace are helping to save the environment by choosing to reuse.
In light of the rise of unemployment, more and more people are eyeing the idea of entrepreneurship as a viable career path. The Bermuda Economic Development Corporation has helped thousands of small businesses become successful, and Acting Executive Director Erica Smith spoke to Julia Smatt about where there is a specific market for entrepreneurs and why some small businesses fail.
What we are seeing is trends with regard to the opportunities for entrepreneurs. Some of the things that have fascinated me is the aging sector, the elderly sector, there's a real opportunity for entrepreneurs to get in on the ground with not just providing seniors care or elderly homes or residential homes, but also with regard to services for the aging sector. So, I would encourage anyone to look at that. Providing care for children. We already know from the statistics that the public sector education system can only provide for so much, and so there's a gap really in the provision. Maybe someone will want to open up private daycare or private institutions that could provide for that capacity. The IT technical field, this is really an area for innovation and growth, and we're seeing a number of businesses and companies really transfer their manual operations into the automated or electronic. So I would give those the 3 opportunities for entrepreneurs to really look at and see if there's an opportunity for them.
Now, what would you say is one of the main reasons people with small businesses don't, sort of, for lack of a better phrase, fail or aren't able to get it off the ground?
One of the things I think is preparation. I think a lot of people have a dream, and it's great to have a dream, but then you also have to make that dream a reality, and so it's about finding enough information and preparing yourself in advance of starting up. I think also not really focusing on who specifically their customer is. We find a lot of businesses that really, they really stretch themselves too far. They try to go after everyone as opposed to focusing on who their key customer is and aligning their business practices with that. And then I think the third area is really understanding their numbers from a financial point of view, having really active and great kind of bookkeeping and accountancy services and looking at those numbers on a day-to-day basis.
Peter Javetic is the host of Season to Taste. The second series starts on Tuesday, the 15th of April, when Peter will be helping some of Bermuda's finest chefs with their recipes. An exclusive presentation of Lindo's. There'll also be the Wine of the Week, specially selected wines from Gosling's. Season to Taste is featured during the Vsb Tv 11 evening news at 7:30, 8:30 and midnight on Tuesdays, starting the 15th of April.
The Bermuda National Athletics Association, BNAA, have selected the Caribta team that will travel to Martinique this month. BNAA President Donna Watson told VSB Sports that increased standards this year has brought about a smaller team.
We've selected the team, the BNAA. We have 13 athletes that have met the standard, that are traveling. In reality, we have 16 athletes that's met the standard. 3 of them are unable to travel with the team. I'm very pleased with the team. We've increased the standards this year, so these 13 athletes have definitely pushed themselves, committed themselves, and have met the standards, and I am sure they are going to do Bermuda very proud.
No, 13, well 16 essentially, but we've taken larger numbers before, but it's more about what, quality here?
It's more about quality this year for the BNAA, Mike. Most of all of our teams, we probably won't have large teams going anywhere because we've increased the standards across the board. We are looking for quality versus quantity.
And the, what are we going to call them, the Magnificent 13R?
The Magnificent 13R. The under 18 girls, we have Tiara DeRosa, who will be competing in the shot put and discus, Kyra Skradis, 815, Azar Smith, high jump, Sakari Famous, high jump. The under 20 women, we have Tahira Butterfield in the 100 and 200. The under 18 boys, we have Keonjay Sumner, 200 and 400. Daniel Oatley, 3,000 meters. Janai Parenchev, high jump and triple jump. David Darrow, 800 and 1,500 meters. Micaiah Robinson, 400 and 800 meters. Under 20 men, we have Chaz Smith, triple jump and long jump. Dej Miners, 1,500 and 5,000 meters. And Justin Donowa, triple jump.
And the 3 that have other commitments?
Yes, the 3 that couldn't attend were Kyle Webb. He would have been running the 1 and 2. Bruce DeGrilla would have been in the long jump. And Devois Whaley would have been competing in the triple jump.
Now, Donna, it seems like quite a bit of jumpers and middle distance there. We're a little short on sprinters this year?
Well, Mike, in reality, and I think I've said this over and over and over, for whatever reason, Bermuda seems like we produce middle distance and jumpers. And I mean, if you look at it, that's been a trend. We've had sprinters, of course, if you're South, Debbie, but for the last several years, it seems to be middle distance and jumpers. If you think about it, we've had Aaron, middle distance, we've had Nikki Saunders, high jump, we've had Brian Wellman, triple jump, and that just seems to be the trend now. And if you look at the medals that we've collected over the years at Carifta, it's always been middle distance and triple jump.
That should do it. Enjoy your new shower.
Experience the bold look of Kohler at a Kohler registered showroom.
Choose to be healthy, Bermuda. Get out there and exercise with a sunscreen, hat, and shirt on every day. Eat healthy, don't smoke, and check your brown spots once a month to detect skin cancer early. Anything growing darker, bigger, jagged borders needs to be checked. Wear your sunscreen, hat, and shirt every day. Be sun safe, Bermuda.
Good evening, everyone. Happy April Fool's Day, and welcome to tonight's VSB weather forecast. Our weather shot is brought to us by Jill Amos Rain, taken at 12:45 this afternoon at the Mid-Ocean Club. A little blustery day. You can see white caps out on the waters, but blue sky, some sunshine, and just a couple of clouds in the sky. Thank you so much, Jill, for sending in this wonderful shot. Temperatures for today, we had a high of 66 at 2 in the afternoon and a low of 61 at 3 in the morning. Current conditions, 63 degrees, humidity 70%, winds northwest 21 knots, and barometric pressure is unsteady at 29.95 inches. Rainfall index for the month of April, 0.01 for a yearly total of 19.1 inches. Yearly normal for this time, 14.88. Looking at the satellite. A persistent low to our northeast continues to bring cooler air on strong northwesterly winds through tonight, which will ease slightly on Wednesday. Winds continue to decrease Thursday and become more westerly Friday as high pressure builds in from the west. For those of you who are traveling, Atlanta mostly cloudy, 79, Boston mostly cloudy, 51, Charlotte mostly cloudy and 82, London partly cloudy and 70, Miami 83, mostly sunny, New York 59, mostly cloudy, Orlando 83, mostly sunny, Philadelphia mostly cloudy and 64, Toronto sunny and 52, and Washington partly cloudy and 70 degrees. Back at home tonight, mostly cloudy with a low near 60, winds northwest 22 to 28 knots, and then easing to 18 to 24 knots overnight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy again, high near 65, winds northwest 18 to 22 knots, and then easing and veering north-northwest 14 to 22 knots overnight. Marine tonight, we've got a small craft warning with seas inside the reef 2 to 4 feet, seas outside the reef 8 to 15 feet, and the sea surface temperature is 65 degrees. Marine tomorrow, small craft warning continues with seas inside the reef 2 to 4 feet, seas outside the reef 7 to 13 feet. High tide will be at 11:07 in the morning and low tide will be at 4:54 in the afternoon. And looking at the 5-day forecast. Thursday, partly cloudy, high near 66. Friday, partly cloudy, chance of a shower later, high near 69. Saturday, partly cloudy with a light shower or two early, high near 71. And Sunday, partly cloudy, the high near 72. Thank you to Jeff Torgerson, our meteorologist for tonight, and everyone at the Bermuda Weather Service. I'm Rachel Sodden. Have a great evening.
Thanks for tuning in to the TV 11 News. We'll look forward to your company again tomorrow night. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited. Wardrobe and makeup for Rachel Sodden, provided by Gibbons Company.
VSB TV 11, Bermuda.